Hello and welcome back to the GorillaBiker. Today where we're going to is a place called, and I apologise if I get the pronunciation wrong because I probably will, Tullaherin Roundtower. So it's also, well, Tullaherin Roundtower and monastic site. Oh no, don't fall down, don't be sad. It doesn't really matter if it does, I'm not tracking anything. I forgot to turn on riser. I'm losing all my data. I'll stop up here and turn it on. I'm liking riser, by the way, it's fun. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so Tullaherin, it is a round tower, the reason I'm going there to fly the drone. And if you don't know what a round tower is, allow me to explain. Okay, so we have riser working now. Gotta get my recordings. Anyway, so a round tower is basically a tower that is round and made from stone. Now, the one we're going to today is about 23 meters tall, and they tend to be, what is it, 18 foot, so that's like, they're like 6 meters in diameter oftentimes, with like a meter thick walls. What's interesting about this one is the stones that were used in the construction. Can't go too fast today, now the road is cold. The stones were used in the construction are cut so that they are the depth that is required as well as the width is required. So it's one big single cut. It wasn't built up, which is really cool. So what round tower is used for is kind of a matter for debate, and the reason for that is, if you can imagine, right, this particular tower we're going to was built somewhere in the 800s. So that's 800 after Common Era, or after, what is it, AD Anno Domini, or ACE after Common Era, whatever you prefer. It's like, so 800s, 9th century, that's a long time ago. So why they were built, why they were used, obviously there is definitely a little bit of wishy-washiness there, but they're largely accepted as being primarily for a belfry, so obviously to call everyone in for their dinner or their prayer or whatever else, as a defensible location, so you know, you store your goods and your riches and stuff in these towers. I don't know why I forgot the word for tower there. Or they were also used as a, you know, a symbol of power. So up until the 11th century, I think it was, when the Normans came, the round towers were the largest, kind of most substantial stone structures in Ireland, in a lot of cases. Obviously not in all cases, because Newgrange, which is a hell of a lot older, but you know, sort of half modern times. I mean, that's not that long ago in reality in comparison to other things. But okay, I tightened it up and sold it now. The main thing is that, you know, these were kind of on their own until the Normans came. So this particular one, the Tullaherin Round Tower, it did have like a chapel built on, which is now ruined. So it also shows that the old round towers lasted better than the chapel or the church or whatever you want to call it. That was built in the 11th century, so, you know, probably 200 odd years after it. Obviously it could be like 150 years, but we'll say 200 years because who's really that picky? And that's now in ruin, whereas the round tower is largely intact. It is missing kind of its very capstone section, so the very, very top has since fallen into disrepair, and I missed my turn off. Oops. Okay, now we're back on the right track. Apologies about that, I kind of lost my head. Have you ever done that? Have you ever just been like heading somewhere and then you've just ridden another road or driven another road so much recently that you just kind of forget what you're doing and just follow the known route? I do that all the time, like all the time. I could be following something on the GPS and I do it. Anyway, as I was saying, so this particular round tower, it is missing the top. The top's kind of collapsed in a bit. And another interesting note is, so they used to have kind of fancy dress stones around the door, and the door it's always high up off the ground. In this case, as far as I remember, it's 6 meters off the ground, and I did read all this stuff like a month ago when I was planning this video, so if I remember a lot, I will be happy with that. I think it's about 6 meters up anyway, right? And around that door then you used to have kind of nice dress stones or flags or whatever else. But they're no longer there due to probably stone robbers took the dress stones, the nice stones, and it's just been cleaned up and patched with something else. So it was kind of restored and bulked up a bit because it was kind of tipping over. So you can apparently see a bulge on the south side. Now, I don't know which the south side is, so if we spot a bulge, we'll figure it out from there. I'm really bad at, you know, that whole sun comes up in, I don't know, one of them. I know bikes, okay? Jeez, don't abuse me. My brain literally fits nothing except some history and bike stuff. Anyway, back to the initial conversation. What were they for? So the reason the door was up, or is up that high, is often thought of because it just makes it difficult. You know, basically you go in, you pull up your ladder, or if you have stone steps built, you can just burn them or knock them down. And then it's very hard for an attacker to get in there, because obviously they'd have to build something up. So if it was like a raid back in the day, obviously they wouldn't want to be hanging around during raiding season. I don't know what they call it. They'd want to be in and out quickly, you know. So that was kind of the intent of the door being up high. It was just to kind of restrict access, which also does, I suppose, lend a bit of truth to the whole idea that these were used for a defensible location. It makes a lot of sense. The other things then around this particular tower is the top floor apparently used to have windows and stuff, but obviously since it's collapsed they're no longer there. And that would also kind of lend a bit of truth to the fact that these were used as, you know, centers for the boys. So whoever the fancy pants man was, and in that time would have been a man, was living up there, had all their windows and stuff. And obviously another very, very obvious purpose of round towers would have been as a lookout, because they're all, you'll see now yourselves, it's a very commanding structure, and being 23 meters tall, it's going to have great lines of sight a long way. So like, what I'll do is I'll put the drone up level with where the top of the tower would have been. Sorry, I nearly forgot. And we can kind of see where exactly the line of sight would have been on that tower. And so then obviously I did say this was a monastic site as well. All that means was that when the church was built there, monks would have lived there. That's about it. So I don't know the history of what type of monks were here. I couldn't find anything on it. So I don't know what order they were, and I don't know if they made anything in particular, because, you know, anyone who's from these areas know that a lot of monks still now make cool stuff, like beers and wines and stuff like that. You know, they do cool stuff. Also, open question for people out there that's entirely off topic. I'm thinking about rebuilding the front brake for this, but what I'd like to do is buy a more modern caliper, maybe a 4-piston caliper. There's a 2-piston caliper on it. So does anyone know anywhere in Ireland that sells even reconditioned 4-piston calipers or something? Just because I could throw that on, maybe throw on a different master cylinder as well, or probably use that one. It seems fine. And just give that a go, because I can obviously get a bracket to mount it made up, machined up, or I could probably make an ugly one myself and get a pretty one made up later. So yeah, let me know in the comments, do you know of anywhere that does that? I don't want like a new fancy Brembo, I don't want anything fancy, just a standard 4-piston caliper. So now we're back in Bennett's Bridge. You would have seen here many times before. You can go right here, but I'm going to go take this road because we've never been up this road, and it's a bit more interesting for everyone to see up here. This is Bennett's Bridge. That's a school and that's a church, and I don't know if there's anything else much here, to be honest, other than obviously people's houses and a shop. Now, I'm not sure where I take my right turn because I didn't turn on maps. I was okay with getting lost today, so I might have to explore a little bit to find this. I know it's a right turn. You'd think I could see the tower, wouldn't you? Hopefully I can. I don't see anything yet, unless I already passed it. That is not a house, that is a castle. Oh my god! That is a castle. Whoever lives in there, do you want to adopt me? And again, what's crazy to me about this particular round tower is I have lived here most of my life. Obviously not most of my adult life, I've lived other places. But I've never been to this Roundtower, and I mean, that's pretty shameful. It's really, really close to my house. And I suppose in a way, same as Kells Priory. I hadn't been to Kells Priory in years, and again, it's 10 minutes. I think I got there on the Gixxer in 7 minutes one day. Do you know what I mean? It's not far. Probably shouldn't have admitted to that about the Gixxer. We may be victorious. I see a road. I see a road to the right. Come on, is there... Tullaherin, that... Yes! Ooh, my directional instincts did not fail me. I absolutely love this bike, you know that? Like, it's just such a great bike. And a lot of people have been asking me to make the 5 things I love and 5 things I hate about this bike, and I'm going to make a video, but I can't do 5 things I hate, because there aren't 5 things I hate about this bike. There just aren't. Thank you. Thank you kindly, Mr. Driving Instructor Mine. Seriously, how can I not see the Roundtower? It's surely massive. Yeah, so other things then about Roundtowers is, obviously, if they were used as a defence structure, I've mentioned it in the past, people used to try hide in them, but I do know, and I remember these from history class in school and stuff. One of our teachers used to tell us that, you know, basically monks and stuff would hide in the Roundtowers, and Vikings or raiders would come along and basically laugh at them and turn the entire thing into a big chimney and light a fire around it, and then they'd come out pretty damn quick, and, you know, the Vikings would get the riches anyway. I don't know, is that actually true? Obviously I didn't live back then, but I think it's a cool anecdote. And, you know, stuff like this one again, it's one of those things that I say is a pity, because this isn't signposted. You know what I mean? Like, this is a Roundtower. Ireland is one of the only places, or I think it is the only place in the world that Roundtowers like this exist. I think there was a Roundtower built in Belgium in like the 90s as a kind of a memorial for war, I think. But as far as I know, Ireland is pretty much the only place these Roundtowers exist. And other than the one, you know, there's a couple of them that are really, really well looked after. Oh, there it is. Yeah, I knew you'd see it eventually. Okay, that's further away than I thought. Wow. You see what I mean about, look at how, like, I don't know, can you see that on the GoPro? Because GoPros suck at distance, but there it is. That massive tower. It's just, you know, over the entire horizon. Like, look at the views they would have had. Now, you couldn't have come within a mile of there, and you know, without them. Oh, cool, a buzzard. You see that in the camera? Anyway, I'm very easily distracted. You couldn't have come within a mile of that place without them knowing you were coming, which is, I mean, it's pretty badass. You know what I mean? Monks were non-confrontational. They weren't fighters here. They were very much pacifists. But like, I mean, if you didn't know about it and you were a small Viking band and you turned up, I wouldn't go attack that thing. I'd be like, yeah, nah, there's definitely some badass people living in there. They built a massive tower out of stone. They can definitely kick the shit out of me. Now, I'm not sure what the crack is with entry into this area. Might have to park at that gate back there, but I think there's a graveyard that we can hopefully just park up at and walk in and fly the drone. Without being disrespectful, of course. I do not want to annoy other people, because it is a graveyard, so, you know, it's a graveyard. I think that says it all. That looks like the car park for the graveyard. I will park this here because I don't want it to get stolen. So there is the Roundtower. As you can see, the top of it is in fact collapsed, which, I mean, it's sad but not that sad. And then you can see just to the right of it the old kind of church that's in ruins, which is, you know, that's not nearly as well looked after as the Roundtower. But we're going to walk up there now and see, can we have a look and then fly the drone. that's interesting. It says the top was rebuilt around the 15th century, so it was obviously maintained for a long, long time. Then fell down again. What else do we have? 2 carved stones, ohm letters. We'll try find them. There's obviously a high cross over there. Or is that just someone's grave? It's probably someone's grave. There it is, writing in Irish. Yeah, so ohm, which is just after what's this? It says AD, so I'm just going to stick with AD. It's the earliest form of writing in Irish. Church was in 2 parts, the nave of the chancel. 10th century. So possibly from the 10th century. I read 11th, but anyway. Projection from the side walls, carried roof timbers, chancel were altered twice, later edition. So we're just going to have a closer look at this spot. Like, that is absolutely class. I love round towers. It does say dangerous buildings keep clear, so we won't go climbing on them. That would be silly. But we'll have a look. And this place is still obviously really well tended, which is nice to see. But there's the old walkie stone. That means I'm allowed in. Oh, that's how I'm reading that. Oh. If a wall collapses on me, I probably deserved it. So this is the inside. Obviously it is a little bit worn. That is absolutely terrifying. I don't know, can you see that? I'm not walking on that because I don't want to get killed by zombies. But look. That's terrifying. I'm sorry, I know some people think that stuff is nice, but that's absolutely mind-bendingly terrifying. Yeah, so there's this is the church and chancel and stuff. So obviously a little bit worse for wear in comparison to the rest of the sites, but apparently this is also dangerous, so I probably shouldn't be in here. But anyway, but yeah, really, really cool, really cool. Can you imagine this back in the day? Oh, would have been just unreal. So anyway, I will fly the drone, and then we'll finish this video.
don't know. I don't know. Can you see me? But there was a raven. There was a raven attacking the drone the whole time I was trying to fly it. He's over there in that tree. What is it about ravens and round towers? They're always in them. Absolute lunatic thing. It was literally buzzing the drone the whole time. I was terrified flying it. I thought he was going to take it out. Sorry, Raven, I'm leaving now. So also, this is one of the stones. You know, spelled Ogham, but I think they're pronounced Ohm as far as I remember. And, you know, obviously it says the inscriptions are very worn, but you can kind of see, I don't know, maybe I'm imagining, but you can kind of see stuff was there at one point in time. That side obviously isn't as good. But also, you know, this is the round tower, so there's pretty certain that's a lightning rod. That cable going up the top to protect it from lightning strikes, and you can walk the whole way around the base, and that probably being the door, unless it's a collapsed piece. Another lightning rod. You can just see all the stone. You can see it's kind of been restored because this isn't normal, and I'm pretty certain that's probably the bulge that I was telling you about. And there's another lightning rod. Oh no, there it is. So is that the south? Yeah, you can see the bulge there. So it was leaning, and they fixed it. I really hope they fixed it, because if it collapses on me while I'm here, I'll be really upset. But yeah, there you go. It's really cool. So there you go. That is the end of the video. That is the round tower you just saw behind me. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope that you thought it was cool. I think this stuff's really cool. And yeah, until next time, thank you very much for watching. As always, a very special thank you to my patrons. You're all legends, and I know, excuse me, I know a lot of you love this type of stuff, so, you know, I hope you enjoyed this video in particular. And not in particular, I hope everyone enjoyed it. I mean, I want everyone to enjoy my videos. But yeah, until next time, thank you again. Adios. Outro crew. If you ever get a chance to come here, do look. So you can just walk around the whole place and look at the view. I mean, can you imagine how far that thing could have seen? So cool, so cool. I love round towers. Okay, outro crew. Bye. So on the way home, I was just taking a random road home. I found this. Look at how cool this is. It's like a fountain. I have no idea what it is. But it's really, really cool. There's even little steps. Little steps so you can walk up the fountain to nothing. I didn't put a microphone on, so sorry if the audio sucks. But I don't think it's too windy, so it should be okay. My little Osmo. There's a sign down here. Look how cool it is. Look how pretty it is. The Magna. Strone Fountain it's called. Oh look, it's reflective. Hello. It's a limestone fountain intended as a source of water for tenants of the nearby Kilfane domain. So it's likely it was erected in 1866. Interesting. So this was apparently built for drinking water. So that is really, really, really cool. I can't believe I found this.